Victory or death! Bring it on!
Well, buckle up for a 40-minute game, I guess. Definitely don't keep Elise or Ragnaros. If it's Control Warrior, I want a hard mulligan for Justicar, I think. If it's a more aggressive warrior, I really want Fiery War Axe. But maybe against a more aggressive warrior, I'd be willing to keep a Slam. But it doesn't hit Fairy Dragon, it doesn't kill Alexstrasza's champion, it doesn't kill Bloodsail Raider. I think I'm gonna send back the Slam. My hand is actually pretty good. It's good against Control Warrior because I have Justicar. Against a more aggressive warrior, I do have some pretty nice tools in my hand. I think I'm just going to Hero Power instead of playing the Acolyte here. The turn 2 Hero Power from him indicates that he's a Control Warrior, meaning I don't really want to draw cards, because fatigue is an issue. But it might be a little bit too early in the game for me to be worrying about fatigue. But playing out the Acolyte doesn't really seem that important, especially since I already have my Justicar. I guess I'm just going to War Axe this guy down and armor up again. Obviously, if I'm playing for fatigue, it's kind of nice to just make him draw a bunch of cards. But even if you're playing for fatigue, sometimes you can lose just to tempo if you give the opponent too many cards. Like if it gets to a point in the game where I've given him 3 draws off Acolyte, he has 10 cards in his hand and I have 4, then he's just a lot more likely to have answers and threats where I'm pretty likely to just be doing nothing. Wonder if I just don't play Shield Block here. Is that going too hard on fatigue? I have a feeling I might need to play this Shield Block eventually anyway, just because it's going to be clogging up my hand. And I am already 1 card ahead in fatigue, plus I do have an early Justicar. But having an early Justicar means I don't really need to cycle. I'm just going to Hero Power Pass. This could definitely be a mistake. Water Elemental is one of the best 4-drops he could have gotten in this matchup. Okay, so I drew Harrison Jones. The opponent have a weapon. No, okay. In this matchup, I think I want Harrison to hit exactly Gorehowl. I don't want to play it on like a Fiery War Axe or something. I'm just going to play out the Justicar here. Justicar lines up pretty well against the Water Elemental. And getting this Hero Power online as quick as possible, or as early as possible, is pretty important. Trying to decide if it's worth playing the Shield Slam on that Water Elemental here. It's pretty likely that I can just drop Ragnaros into it next turn. He probably won't develop anything on 7. Also, Shield Slam is my only removal right now. But if I leave up the Water Elemental, it starts chipping away at my armor. But I guess my tank up actually heals for more than the Water Elemental can shred. So it's not like he's removing my potential to Shield Slam in the future. Plus I do have a Shield Block for a big gain if I need it. Can I actually just pass the turn here? Does that make sense? This guy's probably getting pretty mad that I'm roping so much, but I think these are actually important decisions. I'm just gonna tank up pass. Yeah, I saw that emote coming. There's the Gorehowl, so I can play Harrison Jones. Go ahead and start with Harrison. Gorehowl is a really scary weapon. So I'm definitely tanking up here. Another question of, do I Shield Slam the Water Elemental? The Water Elemental doesn't line up that well against my Harrison. And if he does make a trade into it and then try to finish it off with, I don't know, like a War Axe or something, my Ravaging Ghoul can kill the Water Elemental, which is pretty nice. And I have 9 cards in hand, right? So I'm just gonna pass here.
Welcome to the Grand Tournament, champion.
Kinda hoping that Justicar would be at the bottom of his deck. Pretty annoying for me to deal with. I can trade Harrison into the Justicar and then just drop Ragnaros. 50% chance to kill water elemental. If I miss, it's pretty bad. A lot of the time it's good to play Ragnaros in a position where if it misses, it shreds enough armor that it can't be shield slammed. But that's not the case right here. What else could I do though? Just shield slam the water elemental? I really want the water elemental to die. Sick of being frozen. I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to play Rag in an optimal spot. This is a pretty nice spot to play it, I think. Nice. Hit the best target. Looks like it's getting executed. Oh wow. So none of these 7 cards are a shield slam. I don't think he would have played the slam there if he had a shield slam already. And they're probably not executes either. Because if you had the execute, you probably play the execute there, since sometimes it's hard to damage a minion and you've got 21 armor, so there's no danger of losing it. So I think none of these cards are hard removal. I can slam this, hit my weapon into the death rattle, and then play Geddon. That would clear his board. Other plays, I guess I could like Ravaging Ghoul, slam weapon. It's a pretty nice spot to get some value out of the Ravaging Ghoul, but it is always an execute activator in the future. Let's go for the Geddon play, I think. Unfortunately, he has a pretty significant life lead on me right now, even though I played my Justicar first. Maybe I left that water elemental up for too many turns. Geddon versus Geddon. I think I need to shield slam that. Question is, what's the best way to do it? Ironforge Portal, Hero Power, plus Shield Slam is pretty clean. If for some reason I didn't want to play the Ironforge Portal, I could go like Ravaging Ghoul, Hero Power, Shield Slam on it, but I don't really see much reason to do that. I'm still wondering if I should be playing one of these shield blocks, but I guess for this turn I'm gonna go ahead and pass on it. It's a really bad 4-drop. This 4-drop I got is so bad he doesn't even have to respond to it. But I guess I am technically winning the armor wars if I'm healing for 4 and he's only getting 3 net. I'm 2 cards ahead in fatigue. Wonder if it was even worth playing the Ravaging Ghoul there. I'd like to get some value out of my Sylvanas in this matchup, so I don't really want to play her out here, and then just lose her to a bash or something. I still don't really want to cycle these shield blocks, but maybe I'm being too greedy with that. But even if I cycle, what could I really draw into? Elise and War Axe are really the only good draws here. I think I'm just going to play out the Magnetor Alpha. Feels kind of bad. And it tells him that I have charges in my deck, which I'm not crazy about giving him that information. But I had 10 cards in my hand, I had to play something. And all my other plays were just so awkward. That guy trading 1-for-1 with the Ravaging Ghoul is not that bad. If I play Rafam here, I'm going to overdraw. Do I just throw away my Revenge here? Or do I tempo Ravaging Ghoul? I guess the reason those Whirlwind effects are important is for Execute. And the Revenge just costs less mana than Ravaging Ghoul, so it's easier to play it in a turn with something. So I guess I would just tempo Ravaging Ghoul instead of throwing away the Revenge. Wow, I caught up to him in armor. How did that happen? Wasn't he like 20 health ahead of me recently?
I have no time for games.
If I really wanted to go for fatigue here, I could try to feed him an Acolyte, but I'm not sure how good that is. I guess it would be like Acolyte Brawl, And then if Sylvanas wins, I'm in a terrible position. That seems kind of bad. Maybe I just drop the Spellbreaker on the Sylvanas. The Acolytes aren't totally worthless. They are legendaries if I get to play Golden Monkey. Same thing with the Brawl, even though they're pretty hard to get value out of otherwise. Let's just go ahead and Spellbreak here. Probably the best Spellbreaker target in his deck. Is this a Brawl? Oh, it's a Grom. That seemed like a weird play to me. So I can Shield Slam the Grom, send the other two dudes into Sylvanas. Probably better to play a Whirlwind effect and just trade off the Spellbreaker. Leave a 3-2 Ravaging Ghoul on the board. I could also just play my Brawl here, but if either of his dudes wins the Brawl, it's quite bad for me. The Shield Slam is my only single target removal I have right now. But I do still have 2 Executes in the deck, and I only have like 8 cards or something. I could Shield Slam my own Sylvanas to steal his Grom, but I don't see much value in that. This play also gets 2 cards out of my hand. That means I might actually get to play Rafam next turn.
Do you have the artifact?
I'm not sure if Rafam is actually that good in this matchup. The big Avenging Wrath card doesn't really do anything. The big Blessing of Kings card doesn't really do anything, and the Mummy Zombies just get brawled. I wonder if it would ever be possible for me to hold my Mummy Zombie card until after he plays Golden Monkey, so that he wouldn't have access to a Brawl. That's probably not very likely. I should play Rafam this turn though, just to get it out of my hand. And then we'll just trade off into Elise, so that I don't give him value on one of his Brawls this turn. If I felt like I could bait out a Brawl there, and then like the second Brawl soon, maybe it would be okay, then these guys wouldn't get brawled. But I don't think it's really possible for me to bait out a second Brawl. That's both Shield Slams. I believe he still has both Executes. I also still have both of my Executes, so I don't really want to throw away these Revenges. I guess I'm just going to throw this guy down here. Whatever, he's a 5-3. The opponent has to do something to him. Seems like it's going to be kind of hard to get value out of my Sylvanas. Well, I guess I can just always charge it into something. But he's going to need to play something worth charging into. That's the hard part. I guess I'm just throwing away an Execute Activator here. I don't feel great about it, but I had so many cards in my hand. I was also considering playing out the Sylvanas, but if I play her out here, it's pretty likely that he can just feed me an Acolyte. And I really don't want him to feed me an Acolyte. If I play the Mirror, it just gets brawled 100% of the time. I don't think I'm willing to give up my second Execute Activator. Although I guess charge an Acolyte into one of his dudes is also an Execute Activator, but it's a really bad one. I still have a Fiery War Axe in my deck. That's 2 Execute Activators. Although he might still have Harrison. I don't think I've seen Harrison yet. Throwing away the second Revenge feels really bad. Well, let's just hope there's nothing worth executing. I can still always just charge Sylvanas into a big minion if he does have another one.
That belongs in a museum.
Alright, there's his Harrison. Looks like he doesn't even want to play it into a Fiery War Axe at this point. So here we are again. 10 cards in hand, no good plays. Classic Control Warrior matchup. I guess I just play the Mirror here. It's getting brawled 100% of the time, but at least it takes the Harrison down with it. The timepiece would have been a lot better here. Well, I don't know, this also kills the Harrison, and it removes a card from his hand for the Golden Monkey. At least I didn't lose the 1 and 8. That could have been a disaster. I have nothing good to play here. I guess I just have to play out Sylvanas.
What now?
He doesn't have a weapon in play anymore, so it makes it a lot more unlikely for him to be able to kill it. I mean, I guess it's the only play here.
Time for games.
Do I just play Charge? If I draw Elise or Fiery War Axe, I can just play them next turn and that's fine. But if I draw the other Charge, I'm going to be at 10 cards and nothing to play. I just want to get the card out of my hand. It does mean one less legendary for Golden Monkey, which sucks, obviously. Alright, there's an Execute. I think that's the first one. My Sylvanas took 3 legendaries off his Golden Monkey, so I'm pretty happy with that. I did draw into the Charge, so burning the Charge last turn I think was the correct play. Because imagine that I have 10 cards in my hand here with a second Charge. That'd actually be kind of cool, because I'd have 5 pairs. But other than that, like, I can't play any of my draw cards or I lose Fatigue for sure. And then the Brawls and the Executes and the Charges are all unplayable. So I'd literally have 10 cards that I couldn't play. But I'm also not allowed to overdraw my Elise. So I would have been required to play like a Shield Block or an Acolyte there, and it would have been really bad. So he has a total of 9 cards. I have more cards than him. So if everything plays out completely, I should win this game. But if he just drops a Golden Monkey here and I get out-tempoed by legendaries, I can obviously lose.
I'm almost out of cards.
Do you have the artifact?
Elise was definitely the better draw there. If I drew Fiery War Axe, I would have had to equip it, and then there would be no chance that I could turn the Fiery War Axe into a legendary, which is worth more than a Fiery War Axe. Oh, the Golden Monkey was actually his bottom card. That sucks for him. That is a crazy good minion to get from Golden Monkey. So I guess I just play a Brawl here. It's guaranteed to kill at least one of his dudes. Killing a Golden Monkey is probably about as good as a random legendary, which is really the only consideration here. Which cards are worth not re-rolling into legendaries. I could also just like run in and execute this, or Fiery War Axe execute it. But then like, Karen Bloodhoof is still so good. Let's just go for a Brawl here. This has a lot of upside if my Elise lives. Nice.
Get back.
I'm just gonna kill that guy off while I can. The Elise actually survives the combat, and my executes are better than random legendaries, I think, so it's nice to play them. But I probably want to play my Golden Monkey soon, so it's nice to get the value out of him while I can. It was really lucky that I won that Brawl. I guess I just play Brawl again? It'd be sick if Elise won this one, but as long as it's not Cenarius, it's fine. Well, that's bad.
Greetings.
So he has 6 more legendaries. I don't really need to play this turn, because I can't play the Golden Monkey anyway. He has 6 legendaries, I'm gonna have 7. Or I can War Axe execute this and have 5. I will also have the Golden Monkey. Unfortunately, I missed my tank up this turn. I'm far behind on life, but 1 turn of fatigue when we have this much health is going to be a crazy amount of damage. Might be like 12. That's also a really sick Golden Monkey card. This is actually a terrible set of cards, I think. If I play Jiraxis, I lose my tank up, which is the best hero power right now, I think. Actually, just getting 6/6s on the board probably outvalues all the armor. I don't know, it depends on the wow. Depends on the value of the cards he's gotten. Nefarian into Antonidas is just sick.
That was an error.
It really sucks that I'm actually going to lose this game because he got better legendaries from his golden monkey. Although my Geddon is really sick here. But Geddon dies to the fireball that he got for free. At least his charge was bad. And he put damage on his Antonidas for no reason. So he has 3 legendaries, fireball. So he has 3 legendaries and a warrior spell. Maybe I'm actually still in an okay spot here. Fizzlebang is a pretty trash card. So he fireballed Geddon. I don't think that really gives me too much of a read on what the warrior spell is. I'm definitely not playing Jiraxxus here. The question is, which other card do I play? They all demand another response. Anomalous is kinda sick because it determines what he can and can't play next turn. But if I play Illidan, maybe I can get some value out of its effect. I think I like the Anomalous best here, because depending on what he has, maybe I just trade into it and kill Fizzlebang for free. Or if he plays... he can't just play nothing to play around the effect, because then I just kill Fizzlebang and then I just start punching him for 8. The fact that he had a weak minion is actually pretty bad for me. How much does this deal? 8? But obviously doesn't make sense to play any of my other stuff where you can trade in Fizzlebang and then kill it. That's another really sick card to get. I guess I do have the War Axe to go with whichever one of these guys kills it, though. What would he have taken there? I guess you take the mummy zombies, right? And then you can't lose. The only way I can win this game is if he took the timepiece for some reason. But I think the timepiece is pretty obviously the worst one. Seems weird to me that he didn't play his artifact there. I guess I have to play Jiraxxus to win, right? Even Jiraxxus just like isn't good enough though.
You face Jiraxxus, Elena, Lord of the Burning Legion. Infinite night.
Oh, that shreds my armor. I wasn't actually thinking about that shredding my armor. But it shouldn't matter, because if he just has the mummy zombies here, I can't win anyway. I don't know why he didn't play that 2 or 3 turns ago or whatever. Pretty unfortunate that I lost that game because of Golden Monkey randomness. His legendaries were significantly better than mine. I may have been able to play mine slightly better, but when I get like Anomalous and he gets Rafam, Cenarius, and Nefarian, pretty hard.